Welcome to the highlight show for Group 5 of the Ultimate Pool Champions League. Ian Alley, Greg Batten, Jack Whelan and Kris Hampson are the 4 players involved. Jack Whelan, the former world champion and 2-time Ultimate Pool champion, will be the favourite for this group, and he is in action in our first game taking on Ian Alley. Stephen Jameson joins myself, Simon Webb, on commentary.
As the tournament's group's opening break. And that is notable. For Jack Whelan, those sorts of breaks are seriously rare. That is possibly, and I've watched Jack a lot over the last few months, the worst break I've seen him hit in that entire time. He really has got one of the best, if not the best break in the world, and the reason why is because it's so absurdly consistent. Power straight down the line, cue ball straight at the middle of the table. It so rarely deviates that already this is a potentially big frame in the match for Ian Alley.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me. The reason I like Jack Whelan's break so much is he's got the power, and a lot of players have got that level of power, but he tends to control it down the middle of the table more often than not, and it is rare, as you say. So, yeah, it is notable. And I was about to say, if Jack is the big favourite for tonight, and probably as big as you can be without, there isn't really big favourites in this format, then he could be under pressure for straight away if Ian was to clear up, but Ian's not going to get that far. I think little thing to note on that shot from Ian is that his second shot, he bumped the yellow in the way of the natural angle. If he doesn't bump the yellow where he did, he can just float that in. The cue ball comes down the middle of the table, so he had to inject more pace, and that forced the miss.
Jack's at such a level where he's right at the top of the game, whereby you sort of say he may give you one chance, very rarely will give you 2.
Be interesting to see how good Jack's feeling here. Does he take the top one of the 2 yellows? Much tougher pot, but if he gets it out the way, he'll feel like he should win the frame. He's going to back himself to get better on it.
That'll do it.
Yeah, for me though, he's not better on it. He's on it in much the same way as he was, maybe a touch harder. It still hinges on this shot. And he's going to, looks like he's trying to find an alternative.
May take the one downstairs, he does.
It'd be interesting to ask him if he was 1-0 up, 2-0 up, does he take that yellow 2 shots ago? In fact, his opening frame of the night, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, for as good a player as any of our Ultimate Pool professionals are, and Jack Whelan's right at the top of the pile, always still takes that first frame just to settle any nerves, and he's left himself plumb here.
Yeah, key that he didn't leave himself straight, and he's left plenty. This is a lovely angle just to float nicely on the final yellow. He'll want to be on it nicely as well, unless that 8 ball goes bottom left. He'll need a good angle.
Oh, he's missed it. Well, that's a huge surprise, got to say. And I think there are a few jingle jangles of the old nerves out there in the first frame. That is a big surprise. A rare sighting of the rest on the 7x4 table, and Ian Alley can get himself down to business.
In some ways, winning it in 2 visits when your opponent's had a chance and missed mentally isn't that bad. In some ways, better than getting the reverse clearance which he was hoping for originally.
Well, 1-0 then to the fave, and you see in the background there a little roll of the eyes from Jack Whelan. He's frustrated with himself, and well he might be.
It was more of the same from Jack Whelan in the next, unable to make the counter clearance, allowing Ian Alley to go 2-0 in front. We join Jack Whelan halfway through frame 3.
don't think he's got an option. Well, turns out he thinks he does. Yellows are not nice, but Jack Whelan has got precious little time to work with. A draw wouldn't be the end of the world.
Yeah, if I'm Ian here, you could try and curve your natural instinct, as in, oh, this is lovely.
What a great shot that is.
As in, play, you know, don't chase a low percentage finish here. If you go for it when it's there to go for it, because the last thing you want to do here is give Jack a good chance for another counter clearance.
Is it going to be a foul? No, it just makes it. Must hit a cushion after contact on every single shot.
Well, he's
in international rules.
He's left Ian in the perfect place to pot his bad ball here. I said don't go for a low percentage finish. I think he's going to take this one on.
Yeah, it's no longer low percentage.
Yeah, one good positional shot here, and he can control himself. Other than fouling, I'm not sure Jack could put it in a worse position than that. Quick glance at the clock.
Jack maybe knows that the gig is up, really. Ian's got one good shot to play here.
And a lovely angle to do it with as well. Perfect. Really nice. He wanted to be a little straighter on this one. He wants to be careful he doesn't go too far to the right-hand side. If he feels like he can't hold, he'll use the right-hand side and come back out. If he'd got straight on that previous shot, it would have made it easier, but that's executed to absolute perfection. Could not pick it up with your hand and put it better.
The fave is flying. You know, announced, did you feel less pressure coming into the event, knowing that, you know, the result wasn't necessarily the be-all and end-all? And he said, no, it was the other way around. I felt like everyone was looking at me, and actually I felt more pressure to perform and turn up and show why I was deserving. And, well, didn't he just do that?
Exactly. Yeah, you can go one or two ways that way, as you say, and he sort of put more on himself. Oh, he certainly delivered. Certainly an exciting player as we look at 2023 in the pro ranks.
Yeah, definitely going to be an interesting player to watch through the year.
Well, Jack Whelan put his cue away after that break. He was fully expecting Ian to make the break clearance, and he has missed first ball, so he's at least given Jack Whelan some hope. 4 minutes left.
Yeah, it's just about enough time for hope. Jack's going to have to go quick. Speed isn't usually a problem. Jack Whelan, as viewers of his social channels will be aware.
It's something he's worked on as well.
Yeah, part of the game now. And best players all find ways to improve at every part of the game. Jack Whelan gets himself on the board, has a break next. There's still 3.5 minutes left in this match.
A dry break in the next was the end of it for Jack Whelan, as Ian Alley was able to control the safety battle and ended up winning for a 4-1 victory. On to our second match then. Greg Batten and Kris Hampson are in action, and they shared the opening couple of frames. Greg Batten now has the break in frame 3.
Second time out of 2 that Greg Batten's got that 8-ball flying. Keep an eye on that throughout the night.
We will be doing just that.
As he's going for the cut break. Pretty good leave. 8-ball, semi-awkward. But that's about it. Everything else in good shape. sure that's the best positional shot that Greg's ever played. Would it be nice to get a little bit closer to this work, because he's now got to thread the needle with the cue ball. That cannon on the yellow always looked on. He may well have wanted to get rid of the 2 in the top right before he dealt with these 2 at the bottom, leave the one next to the 8 ball last then.
Yeah, that pot was missable.
He just got himself a little lost. I think when he potted the one to the top right, he potted it thicker than he wanted to and just left the cue ball middle of nowhere, really. Oh, Kris for the counter clearance. Obviously all the yellows in the bottom are wide open. Yellow in the top half of the table. Looks like it's primed for a double. Question is, when does he go up for the double? We know he's going to go for the finish.
Yeah. Sort of reliable in that sense, isn't it?
I quite like going up for the double early, personally. Possibly have even tried to work it so he was on it now. Because if you finish short on the double, because if you finish straight on the double, you're perfect. Your last ball, 8 balls waiting. But if you finish short, you can play a little cannon into the 8 ball, hold the white, and you need a yellow at the bottom end of the table to then connect everything up. If you play the cannon into the 8 ball, the 8 ball could go awkward on you. You never want to play onto a ball that's moving. But it looks like he is leaving it last. So key is getting nicely on this double. Yeah, and he's looking at it. If he leaves it short, the double's fine. It's just, where does the 8 ball go? Looks like he's landed absolutely plumb on it, so that now he wishes he probably had the other yellow out the way. Although main camera looks like he's gone a roll too far, and he has. Overhead looked like he might be absolutely plumb.
Not ideal.
Looks like he's playing this with a lot of left-hand side. Yeah. Not sure if he was playing the screw into the 8 ball or screw into the red, because that's really awkward for the double now.
Isn't it just?
And he's looking at a treble, in fact.
Oh, it was close.
For me, that whole visit comes down to decision-making. I wonder if he had that visit back, whether he makes the decision to go up for the 8 ball, sorry, for the double.
Yeah.
First, second shot. Probably second shot was the one. He didn't quite have the angle to get their first shot, go up second shot, and you've got everything down the bottom of the table left there waiting. Whatever you leave, you're going to leave a shot down the table.
We now are on the 15-second shot clock part of the match. Didn't really mention this too much in the first match. But 15 seconds a shot is very, very quick. And in a match like this, where it feels very wide open, could have a very, very large part to play within it.
Yeah, came right across that one as well. And that could be a disaster for him. Does the red go bottom right? Don't like the yellows at all. Even though there's less of them on the table, there might just be one red that's awkward. Yeah, that red doesn't look like it goes bottom right, but there's enough around it. A little bit of clock management going to be going on here as well from Greg. 3 minutes 37, 15 seconds a shot. He'll take his time on each one, or as much as he can. It is only 15 seconds a shot, but he won't be rushing. Oh, that's nice. It's nice if he's on the next ball. He's opened up the bottom right for the only red that didn't have a pocket. Well, in fact, he's opened it up for the left centre.
Lovely.
So now it's a case of which ball does he leave as his ball to get on the 8 ball. I don't really like the one over the bottom left-hand corner. That makes getting on the 8 ball awkward, and unless you're backing yourself to make it up to the top left.
Which I'd be surprised if Greg did, if he went that way.
So if you leave one, yeah, one to right centre, almost get the angle he's got now. I'd love to just screw back to where he is. As long as he stays on that line, though, he'll be fine. But he'd love to get it cue ball exactly where it is again. He could have done with another few inches off the cushion here. The angle's good. It's just going to be digging down onto it. Yeah, nice.
Played that really nicely. 2 minutes left. This 4-3-1. Greg Batten waiting for those beeps. Take as much time off the clock as he can. Lovely. Long way back for Kris Hampson then.
Greg Batten made a ball off the next break, allowing him to run the clock down to secure victory. Kris Hampson will stay out there. This time he'll take on Jack Whelan. Both players having lost their opening match were in desperate need of a victory here. And it was Kris Hampson that won the opening frame.
Oh. One of them has to go in. One of those where they're always chasing each other into the holes. I mean, it's just brilliant when it's working.
It is a great break, but he'll be very disappointed with the result. First glance, you look at those reds and think, okay, reds are a great chance, and then you realise the red by the 8 ball at the bottom is a bit of a disaster ball. Unless it goes to the bottom left, and I don't think it does, it's a real problem.
I think there's an argument for taking yellows here, but the yellow below the red on the baulk line is, I don't know if it's as disaster ball as the red at the bottom of the table, but it's not far off.
From the main camera, it looks like that red by the 8 ball does go. So reds are a great chance.
Oh, that's a clever shot.
It's just one positional shot required.
Really love that little bit of invention there from Jack Whelan. And you can see there it just about squeezes in, which makes his work a little bit easier.
You would assume that's going to be his last positional shot, down to that red. So needs a really good angle.
The classy touch on his first shot, though, just playing the red off the reds. Always working to make his work easier. And now, that's not perfectly executed. Pot went in, but Jack got into that way more than he wanted.
He's caused himself a problem here. Might come down for the red at the bottom now.
I think he has to.
Cue ball's going to be doing plenty of travelling for the next 2 shots.
He's played that well, mind. This was tight. We saw it earlier. He'd love to be right behind it, but he needs an angle. He can't be.
The yellow above the red actually plays a bit of a blocker because it's the line you want. If he gets to the middle of the table, getting onto the 8 ball is going to be tough. Like, really tough. He needs to be... Yeah, this is awkward. This really is. Middle of the table's not great.
He had a little bit more room than we thought. He's actually used the yellow. Yeah. He's almost taking his medicine, but this is now a huge shot.
It's just a horrible angle.
Big, big screw shot coming up. Loading up. Yeah, that'll do.
Huge shot.
Oh. Woof. That's a serious shot from Jack Whelan.
Kris Hampson made a break clearance in the next to go back in front, but Jack Whelan responded in the same manner, a break clearance of his own to tie the scores up once again. We join Kris with a break in frame 5.
But it's long odds, and Jack Whelan and Kris Hampson won't like those odds. That's why it's a must-win game. And that is the worst possible result for Kris Hampson off his break. Jack Whelan, you can see, he's itching to get to the table.
Once again, Kris comes straight across his break. Really been a tough one for him tonight. It's caused him problems pretty much all the way through.
15-second shot clock, cue ball behind the line after a foul break like that.
And this actually, it looks congested in the bottom half of the table. It actually isn't. He's perfect on the one by the 8 ball now. Okay, he's off the cushion, but it's the perfect angle. Drop it through, connects to the one below the 8 ball, which connects to the one to the left of the 8 ball, and that's your work done, really. That's why he played the cannon he played, was because he wanted to leave that angle there, guarantee it.
Yeah, and he potted that as thick as he dared to hold that cue ball as well. Doesn't have his extension, has to be aware.
Would love just to pick the gap here. Hasn't quite, but that'll be okay. He'd love to have slid past that one and been straight in on the one he just cannoned into the middle, but second prize.
Glimpse into why this 15-second shot clock is so brutal. Every player wants more time, they just don't have it. You've got to play what you see.
He won't be able to get right behind this 8 ball, but he'll be still comfortable enough for a player of Jack's level. Just pressure on it.
2 minutes and 10 seconds left in this match. This 8 ball for the lead. Crunch. And that one, he strikes perfectly. Wouldn't you know, it's dry. Come on, he says, and you can sympathise.
Yeah, he hit his last break so poorly and got gifted a great chance. This one he hits well. Absolutely no friends out there. Big visit to the table then, Kris Hampson. Keep an eye on the match clock as well.
Yeah, the odds of a draw just shortened. Kris Hampson wants to get out here, but he wants to do it before 0. Give himself at least a break. If he can give himself time for a rapid break clearance, then fantastic, but probably too difficult to finish just to worry about that right now. Just get out and do it before 0. Give yourself a break, chance at a golden break to win it.
If he knocks this one in, he could absolutely fly. Yeah, he'd want to go up the table here for me, but could go either way. I was thinking left centre, top 1, then the bottom 2, but he's going to go the other way around. As long as he leaves the one over bottom right, he's fine. Just leaving that one at the top of the table for his last ball is not going to work.
Yeah, that's not ideal. 34 seconds and ticking. $25.
That's lovely. That is really lovely. He's left the perfect angle to float through the gap for a second time.
Has to get on with it.
Thought he'd caused himself a problem.
Into the final 10 seconds we go. 3. Just. And it's going to end a draw. Cue ball still moving as the clock strikes 0. Frustration for Jack Whelan. And a mop of the brow for Kris Hampson. It keeps them both in the tournament by the hairs on their chinny chin chin.
Ian Alley and Greg Batten now go at it in the key 4th match of the night. Winner of this one will take control. Let's join it in the opening frame.
Greg Batten on the break as the group leaders do battle in match number 4 of 6 on the evening. Fantastic opening break from the Pac-Man. Struck these beautifully and has got a good chance to go 1-0 up. This now is a huge match for these two. They now know that if they win it, they knock 2 people out. And they know that they just need to cross over the line in the last match of the night. Plenty on offer in this one.
Key shot in this frame as well. This goes in, the rest is sitting there. Could have made half a case for yellows. I know the one below the 8 ball looks tricky, but does go to the bottom left. But now that red's gone, reds are by far the better colour set. You make a case here for coming back, dealing with the 2 at the bottom, 1 at the top, because you've got loads of room for the 8 ball, but it's going to go the other way around. Thought he was a little bit straighter there, that if he just drops that in, then you go bottom left, bottom right, and the 1 at the top, because middle of the table's easy to get to from the 1 at the top. But if he gets this positional shot right, it won't matter. Keeble's doing a little bit more travelling on the last 2 shots than he wants, though.
Yeah, especially there when it's travelled a little bit too far, if anything. Should still be able to hold this.
Yeah, it's the same deal. Just get the cue ball to the middle of the table. This time 2 cushions. Just pace control, really.
Just pace control. Oh, just. Oh, just.
Never in doubt.
One 0 Pac-Man.
The next 2 frames were shared with good clearances. Greg still has that 1 frame advantage. Ian Alley now has the break.
At number 4, crop up quite a bit. Less so tonight. It's got Mixie. Oh, what do we say towards the end of the last match? Towards the end of these matches, when it gets mixy, you want 2 things. You want the lead and the break. Greg Batten has the lead. Ian Alley can't make his break work. So Batten's got the advantage there now too.
He has, but he's probably got a layout here where he feels he's got to take them on. And they're not a good layout to go for here. If he takes on the reds and doesn't get them, he could make the yellows open. He's trying to work out what he can do. I don't like the red by the 8 ball and the red bottom left, both awkward. So just turns the table over. Really clever from Greg, slowing the match down with the lead. The player that goes for a finish with this layout is odds against, and he doesn't want to be the one to take that on.
And you can't blame him.
Is he more tempted this time? If he can see the one nearest the right centre pocket, he might be able to play into the clustered area, although there's yellows blocking it. He set his stall out. Stay patient.
Easy to say when the 15-second shot clock comes in, however, to stay patient. Ian Alley doesn't strike me as a particularly patient man. He's going to go.
And I suspect Greg Batten sat in his chair, although he'll be a little nervous of the clearance here. He probably knows the percentage is with him right now. Big chance for this to go wrong, but that is excellent. Oh, that's such a good shot.
Well,
that's changed everything. It's not just making the pot to the corner, he's flicked it off the red. That was hard to do. And he's opened up the one by the 8 ball. What a great bit of vision.
And then he misses.
Wow, the shot before deserved the finish.
It was so good.
He's got to hit the red so thin. If he hits the red thick, the red he's playing doesn't go in. It's such a good shot. The only thing he can do is feather it.
Greg dies in that yellow, and here's Ian Alley's hopes of qualification dying as well. That was in time.
Just about. Oh, it's not landed nicely. It's going to have to be a plant. This isn't guaranteed. Oh, very good. Very good indeed. Helps if the two yellows together at the top. If the right-hand one passes the left-hand one, they both go independently of each other. That helps this finish quite a bit. That's not the best angle he's left himself to try and get up for them.
Not a bad shot, though, he's just played. He would have loved to have been able to take one independently. I think he still can. Oh, that was tight. Yeah, he could. Amazing.
It's a big shot, though. In his mind, though, this will be match ball.
Yeah, and I think it will be. All the hard work done. Very good indeed by the Pac-Man. 3-1 in front, a little under 2 minutes to play. 8 ball on the move, but nothing else is going to find a home, and Ian Alley sprints to the table.
This is a nice layout. Okay, the one in the top half of the table, slightly awkward, but there's room. Everything goes.
Ian Alley in a hurry.
He's actually... Oh, he's definitely a little bit short. No, he's okay. He's just got about gone far enough. That's awkward, though, getting on the last yellow from this one. What I was thinking is if he could have left it low and played top left with this ball, would have made it easier. Oh, he's nipped that so well.
Such a good shot.
It didn't look like that shot was on. That was really good.
What a clearance this is. At pace from the fave. Right then. Greg Batten knows what this position is like to be in. It's not comfortable.
Where's that 8 ball? Oh, I thought that 8 ball was going to be close to the left centre then as it was coming down. But the dry break hurts him. Greg can steady himself now.
The dry break doesn't just hurt him, it kills him in this scenario.
And he knows it. He actually changed to the cut break. The first 2 breaks in this match were front ball, but they were both dry, so he changed to the cut break, partly because he was having no success from the front ball, but also it gets the 8 ball in motion with it, which it absolutely did. And a golden break would have helped.
Oh, Greg Batten can just pot out, and he is the most relieved man in the building right now. This result will knock out Kris Hampson and Jack Whelan. Ian Alley is still alive, but barely. Greg Batten is now odds-on favourite for a spot in the next round. The Pac-Man is flying high in the Champions League. Greg Batten just needs a result when he returns in a couple of matches' time.
Ian Alley stays out there, this time taking on Kris Hampson, needing a victory to put the pressure onto Greg Batten.
Kris Hampson back in action, and that result really, really hurt him. His only chance of qualification was Ian Alley getting over the line in that final minute of that match to secure a draw, and that really would have put the cat among the pigeons. But as you saw, Ian Alley broke dry, and Kris Hampson and his chances of qualification went away with that. So Kris Hampson here just playing for a win and a potential third spot in the group table. And there are ranking points available for this event, and for players like Kris Hampson, who are brand new, playing for absolutely every point they can get. There's something on this match for sure. Ian Alley must win. And the good news for him, and Ian Alley fans, of which there are plenty, is that Greg Batten must get it done in the final match of the night, and the player he's playing is Jack Whelan. So it all is not done yet.
No, it's far from done yet. It really is. Isn't it amazing that Kris has gone across his break pretty much all night long and not hit them particularly well. This time he flushed it, squared the cue ball up, and still ended up with no friends out there. The break really can drive you mad.
Just. You know, he was already walking around in his next shot. Just had to will that one to drop.
Doesn't want that yellow to become a problem here. Yeah, it just drifts by it. Just means this next positional shot's slightly trickier. He needs to know his natural. Is he hitting the yellow or is he avoiding the yellow? Pace he plays it at affects it as well. And he's avoiding it.
Hit that one though. And now you really have to know your angles, because he is in big bother. One cushion, middle pocket the target. Middle pocket the target. Oh, Ian Alley, that's a bit special. What a recovery this is from the fave.
That really is fantastic. Pocket weight.
Absolutely perfect.
Kind of feel positive about it. And that shot from Ian's not going to make him feel any better.
That break still giving Ian Alley some serious jip though.
Good chance this for Kris. Get himself going. 8-ball drops in left centre. A little bit more awkward than it looks on our camera, but the one just below his arm now is a great last ball for it. If he didn't like it, then he could always play the red in the middle off that 8-ball to ping it open. But everything goes and everything has a pocket, and they all kind of connect pretty nicely. Nicely controlled. Could pretty much roll the next 6 shots in. Drift by the red above here. Top left, then the one right centre. Everything just all connects. Left a little bit more angle than is ideal here. Can he still pick the thick part of the pocket and hold it? Yeah, comfortably. Comfortably. I thought he just dropped that one in. 8-ball left centre. I know from the overhead it looks awkward, but main camera, this does drop in. He played the cannon into the 8-ball there and didn't quite get it. Makes this 8-ball a lot tougher.
That was a really tough shot.
Such a surprising choice for me. If he rolls that ball in and he's right behind that 8-ball, it's a 10 out of 10 shot for him. No need to play the cannon. For Kris as well, if the 8-ball was tough, and from the main camera it looked like it dropped in okay, then you could have played the previous shot
off
left
the
centre
8-ball.
off the 8-ball,
Yeah.
and whilst guaranteeing staying on the one down the cushion, make it all the more easier for yourself. Just a really surprising choice of shot from Kris, to be honest.
Yeah, surprising's the word. I mean, when he didn't play it off the 8-ball, you just assumed that he was fairly comfy with how it went in the middle.
And he'd made a really nice pattern as well. The pattern was just perfect to it.
Ian Alley sweeps up 2-0.
The next two frames were shared. Kris now has the break in frame 5.
Oh, Kris Hampson threw the kitchen sink at it and lost the cue ball.
He'll have better nights on the break. That is for sure from Kris. It's been pretty much a disaster on the break all night long. And this could be a very quick run to the winning line. Might play a little cannon on the 8-ball, or more likely the red above the 8-ball. Doesn't have to, but if he cannoned the red, I think he had a quick look to maybe play it previously or next. He cannons the red now, top side of it. He's on a choice of all 3 yellows, and the 8-ball's open. Just caught the red full rather than top side of it, which is why it's stuck where it is, but he's still absolutely fine.
Ian Alley keeps Greg Batten honest. If the Pac-Man is to qualify tonight, he has to do it by beating Jack Whelan. If he fails to do that or get the draw, Ian Alley will be waiting in a 6-red shootout. The Fave does what he can.
On to our last match of the night, Greg Batten against Jack Whelan, and it is Jack that has the opening break.
He is already out. This is not the position he wanted nor expected to be in. That's the story of his night so far. Watch this for a break. Puts the cue ball into orbit.
Bit of anger in that one.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration in that for sure. So Greg Batten will get first chance, and that's exactly what Greg Batten wanted, because Greg Batten, if he gets any result here, draw or victory, is through to the next stage of the Ultimate Pool Champions League. If Jack Whelan wins, he'll be doing Ian Alley a big favour. And it will be 6-red shootout time between Ian Alley and Greg Batten. You think that sounds a little bit unlikely. Jack's got nothing to play for, all the rest of it. It's exactly what happened a couple of weeks ago. Jordan Shepherd did exactly what Ian Alley just did, won his last match. And Carl Morris beat Phil Parkin to dump Phil into the 6-red with Jordan Shepherd, and Jordan Shepherd came through. Strange things can happen on these Monday nights. Greg Batten must get it done.
Yeah, and he's just played a loose positional shot. He wanted to be on the one to the top left, and then it would have been a fairly simple run out. Now he's working hard. Done well to avoid the yellows. Just drop this in. The cue ball should come off the cushion, and then it's one more shot along the top cushion just to get the cue ball to the middle of the table. Just about pulls up, but this shot's tricky. Now that he's come that extra 2-3 rolls across the table, just makes this next shot just a little bit trickier. Couldn't avoid the yellow because he left it thinner.
Just takes his medicine a touch. I think he just all he needs to do here is just drop this red in. The one over the middle pocket should be pretty easy. It's not like the 8-ball that Kris Hampson had, where it was very, very tight. Should be a bit of a dot-to-dot finish here.
Yeah, I like the way you put that. Took his medicine. Didn't try and do anything more than that. Knew he was leaving the right angle with a full ball cannon. And then you can just cue it in. Very nice. The shot to the right centre to avoid the yellows was excellent. It really was.
Well, off the Jack Whelan break, Greg Batten will go one in front. And whenever you finish absolutely dead straight on the 8-ball, you know it's been a pretty good visit to the table.
Been front ball breaking lately.
And crunching it.
Yeah, and absolutely crunching it. How about this? Oh, have some of that. This could be a very quick break clearance. If he's got the angle on the yellow to left centre to get on the one at the top of the table, he's out without having to play a shot, really. He might be a touch straight on it, so he might have to play one positional shot here, but it's not going to be particularly difficult. Yeah, I think he is too straight on the yellow to left centre, so you drop it in, leave the yellow top right, the one in the middle, and just stun across to the one on the break line. All depends on the angle he's got, which way he goes, but it's all there for him. Yeah, just drop it in. He's got just enough angle to stun across to the left-hand side cushion.
Just like that.
Doesn't want to leave the yellow into the right centre too thin. Yeah, that's nice. Just stun through the gap now. We completely decelerated on it, and he's been very fortunate. That was a complete decel.
Oh, that's a let-off.
Jack Whelan responded with a break clearance and reverse clearance of his own to make it 2-2 and has the break in frame 5.
Man, look at that. His breaks decided to turn up all of a sudden.
He will be thinking, where were you?
As you rightly said, though, Stephen, it wasn't the break. He can look at, yeah, so the break's maybe not been his biggest friend tonight, but it's more about the mistakes he made in match 1 than anything else.
Yeah.
But from Greg's side of the table right now, he's thinking, I took out the first 2 chances in the match, and I've sat and watched since. That is not what he wanted to see at all.
That chair is getting slowly more uncomfortable.
These yellows are fairly comfortable for Jack Whelan.
The one thing that helps Greg is he has the draw.
He does, but he may have to make a finish in the next frame to get back to the draw, and may well still be enough time if that was to happen for Jack to respond. So it's just all of a sudden, after taking out the first 2 finishes, Greg's probably thinking, okay, I'm in good shape here.
You're never safe in the Champions League.
Well, he's gone here. He does have to play a good positional shot. Either the next one or the one after. Yellow doesn't go bottom right. Not easy to get onto it in other pockets unless he gets the perfect angle. That's why he's tried to really pinch the pocket. If he makes that centre pocket, the cue ball is not, it gets very close to that yellow, and then his margin of error is tiny. Just a slightly, couple of awkward shots. Extension call. Because if he gets a bad angle on the yellow in the middle of the table, and getting on the one in the bottom of the table then becomes difficult.
Yeah, let's have another look at what you mean here.
So if he makes the centre pocket, see how it's going towards the yellow? The closer it gets to the yellow, the smaller the margin of error is. He's just picking the pocket and overdid it. And I have to say, I love that reaction from Jack Whelan. For a player that's essentially playing a dead rubber in his own mind, still the personal pride to be disgusted with that shot. Greg Batten will be thrilled to see it, because this is a great chance for him to give himself the breathing room he needs. As you've said, the draw is all he needs to go 3-2 up with 3 minutes on the clock, then becomes a comfortable position, especially when he has the break next. Oh, Greg.
That's me.
Oh, dear.
Nervous for him.
Yeah, and he's underhit this by a mile. He's feeling it out there.
Can't blame him. Makes the 8-ball clutch pot. Oh, I needed that. Didn't strike those amazingly, but he's got a ball, and that's really all that matters at this stage. He can almost pot out.
Can he, though? Is there enough pots?
Yeah.
Is there enough? This is. I might be tempted to keep this ultra tight. Say the Jack Whelan.
Go the other way.
Yeah. Just turn the table over here. Just turn it over and say, go on then, Jack. If you want to clear these up, you've got to clear these up and another for me to not go through. There is nothing on here, nothing inviting at all. Well, maybe now.
What about now?
Oh, no.
What about now?
Oh, that could make a world of difference here. All of a sudden, all these reds go. It's amazing. Maybe the one above the 8-ball doesn't go bottom left.
Jack Whelan throwing caution to the wind. That's the one thing you can do when it's a dead rubber.
Oh, that would have been tough for Greg to see. Really would.
Got to play a good shot here. Not quite. 8-ball went safe as well, so I think the visit really would have come to an end here, but this is the shot. I mean...
Oh, that would have been...
pretty tough.
That would have been so sick for Greg. Had Jack run those out, it would have been a very nervous couple of seconds waiting for the Jack Whelan break in the decider, but now he can pot out. Does not have to worry about the clearance, just has to pot the remaining 2 or 3 balls in the open, and it is job done for Greg Batten. I have to say, he's going through these a little bit quicker than I thought. Wait for the beeps, Greg. Oh, what have you done? What have you done?
It was a really tough double. It's the only thing that saved Greg Batten, and it has saved him a little bit.
Just play the beeps.
Jack Whelan's conceded. It's over. Greg Batten has done it.
3 wins from 3 sees Greg Batten go through to the second stage of the Champions League. If you'd like to watch this whole night back, you can. It is on ultimatepool.tv. Or if you're looking forward to next week, this is the lineup that we have for you. Brian Halcrow, John McAllister, Declan Brennan and Dom Cooney looks to be a cracking lineup once again for Group 6 of the Ultimate Pool Champions League.